Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Flex Time with the Buff Watchmaker. So today we're going to talk about maybe some New Year's resolutions for everybody and their watches. Guys, how about for 2023, we all have some clean watches. What do you say? Too hard, you say? Too difficult? Can't be done at home? I'll tell you what, I'll show you all the tips and tricks that a pro could use at home if they did not have necessarily access to all their fun toys at the shop. So guys, stick around. We're going to go over everything that you need to have a nice, beautiful, clean watch in 2023. First things first, you're going to need to know what you're going to need to have in order to do a good job. And so I'm going to go over the essentials really quick, must-haves, and then we're going to throw in a couple of other things too that if you really are just wanting to kill this and just make it look chef's kiss beautiful, we'll include that too. So first things first, guys. You're going to need a brush, toothbrush. Try not to use your sister's or your wife's, okay? Because that's not how you want to start off 2023. So get you a used toothbrush that's still, clean and everything, ready to rock and roll. Second thing you're probably going to want to use is something like a toothpick, okay? Just standard house toothpick will do just fine. Now, this is a pretty fancy looking little Q-tip, but just a standard Q-tip will also get the job done, guys. Okay? Now, also you're going to need to use some sort of cleaning agent and some really nice hot water in conjunction with some Dawn. Doesn't necessarily have to be this particular one, but Dawn Platinum's my go-to. So definitely get you a little bit of that going on. Now, that and then maybe like a nice towel and paper towel. All right, we're getting there. Now, to do a really nice job, guys, what we want to do is go ahead and remove the band, especially if it's a leather band or a metal bracelet, because we're going to be able to do the best job as far as getting it nice and clean done. Now, in order to get the band off or the bracelet off, you're going to have a few options available to you to do that. Now, on a metal bracelet like this, there's one particular tool that I really feel like it's worth investing the $20 to $25 that it costs on eBay or Amazon, and that's the Bergeron 7767, okay? And why this works so well is this has got an incredibly tough fork at the end here, and I'm going to show you how easy this is to go ahead and get your band off and on. Alright, so I've got my patented Bergeron 7767 tool here, and what we want to do is go ahead and take the band off. So first tip to do is go ahead and maybe take this off over here at the clasp. So we're going to take the other end of this, the non-forked end, the pointy end, the business end, and we should be able to come in here and just like that. Got our band apart. My spring bar went flying on me, so that's awesome, but that's okay. So this makes it nice and easy for us to go ahead and, without having the band kind of folded over, getting in our way, okay? So first thing we want to do is take this and get that slot right in there, in between, push it out. Now take your finger and get underneath it and kind of push it away to where it can't just kind of go back into where it was slotted, and then we can come in here on the other side and do the same thing, and it comes off nice and easy. Okay, so we'll go ahead and do that to the other side real quick. Get our little fork in here. Sorry it's not super easy to see, but just like that, and we got our band off nice and easy breezy. And now we can tend to this separately and this separately instead of having to do everything all at the same time. All right, now I've got my nice hot soapy Dawn water here ready to rock and roll. And guys, I'm going to be honest with you, I did not realize that this watch was this dirty, and I'm pretty sure that the same thing's going to go for most of you whenever you get to this stage, and you're going to be like, gee, sure am glad that Buff Watchmaker's around giving public service announcements. We're going to like and subscribe him. Anyway, so one of the great things that doing this and taking the band off is going to do for us is we don't have to worry about submerging the watch with the movement in there. We can set that aside and we can submerge and let the whole band sit in there and rest. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna plop it in here. Little end pieces. We've removed the spring bars and managed to recover the flying spring bar from the clasp a moment ago, which good news all around. So we're gonna let that just set in there, and then we're going. All right, moving forward just a brief moment in time. Now we have everything in the band all in the hot soapy Dawn water, soaking and doing its thing, making our job a little bit easier. Now guys, if you couldn't take the band off of your watch and you're still trying to do this, and you don't have a watch that you feel comfortable submerging water in, which anything less than a diving watch, I think it's a little iffy, okay? So, but if you don't, and you can't, just simply drop this down in here like that and just kind of sit there and agitate it for a moment without submerging the case itself, okay? That does bring something up that I think it's a great idea. Anytime you're going to take apart any watch, especially band parts and stuff like that, why not go ahead and get you just a little bitty container and stick all that stuff that just seems to kind of figure out ways of getting off where you know, off the bench or, you know, onto the floor or somewhere. So those are all nice and safely contained, so we can carry it forward now. Guys, if you know how to take the case back off and then take the stem and crown out in order to be able to clean this area right over here, that always gets nice and grungy, and it's a good idea to be able to clean that and also do the gaskets while you're doing all that, but that's for another video. So we're going to focus on the case for just a moment. So first thing I always like to do is make sure that the bezel is rotating nice and easily. Let's see how this one does. Yeah, that feels how it should, so no worries there. So a couple places where stuff really likes to build up and where you want to take a toothpick and go ahead and get after that first is this little area right over in here. Really get all in there. Okay, and then maybe take the toothpick and come right in here, right along where the bezel meets the case. And also in these little grooves right over here where the case back tool needs to go. Always seems like stuff likes to accumulate right over into there. Then we can go ahead and take our toothbrush and rapidly get in there real quick. Okay, very nice. Set that aside to dry. Now we can go ahead and get in here and start looking at our band parts. And let's see, so what you want to do is you want to really bend each one of these links individually here on both sides. Like so. And especially pay attention to kind of this little area right over here in the clasp, these little edges inside, and then of course the clasp everywhere on the inside. And then don't forget to flip the buckle around and get inside there too. Soaking this makes this so much easier. All right everyone, through the power and magic of editing, we have flashed forward, and I've really gotten after this with my toothbrush and everything and laid this out on here. So the next thing I would probably do is go ahead and take my little Q-tip and just really kind of get in there and see if I can get anything else on there, which is nice and white, so you can certainly see if you manage to get anything extra, which I've gotten just a tiny little bit. So then what you can do, if you really want to take this up another notch, is take a little bit of some IPA alcohol. Just give it a little bit of a squirt. And we will take our paper towel. Okay. Looking pretty clean actually, but let's see, let's give it the ultimate test. Let's go ahead and take a little compressed air here. Oh guys, that's already looking really nice and clean. So this wasn't the dirtiest watch I've ever seen in my life, but it definitely did need a cleaning, and by using some of these products right there, we've managed to get all that dirt out of there and that grime, and now we're just about ready to put things back together and give it a quick polish. Alright guys, I did show you kind of how I like to take the bracelet off. Let's go ahead and show you how I like to put it back on. So essentially all you do is line things back up and kind of let it come in under the underside right there, where both spring bars will be poking out on both sides a little bit. So it's as simple as taking our tool and kind of poking in one side and using our finger over there to keep that from coming back up. And we'll drop the other side down in there too and push it together. Maybe have to give it a little bit of a wiggle sometimes, but this one decided, since it's all nice and clean and beautiful, that it wanted to just cooperate right on first try. So that's putting that back on. I think the clasp is just as easy to get back on. You're just going to line it back up into whichever hole that you had it in there. So go ahead and get that stuck in there and have your finger on the opposite side, giving it some inward pressure so it does not have an opportunity to get out. And then coming back in with our handy dandy tool, we'll push that back in there. Make sure that that gets seated, and job done. Alright guys, now that we've got a thorough cleaning done on this, there's no dirt, there's no grime left to be seen anywhere, inside and out, we will do one final step that I love to do for my watches and my customers' watches, and this is a Jeweler's Rouge polishing cloth. So this actually has the Jeweler's Rouge impregnated into the fabric itself. So you can't ever wash these guys, but if you're only using this on pretty clean watches, they last forever. So what you're going to do is take the watch in hand and just vigorously give that a nice rub, and especially on the high polish sides. That's actually my hand speed, guys. No editing involved. And so now let's have a nice look and see our finished product. Looking good. Alright, so that's how I like to go ahead and do a watch if I do not have access to an ultrasonic cleaning machine. If you have an ultrasonic cleaning machine and you can do all this and drop the bracelet down in there, that's even going to get it even more clean, even more of a professional job. But this is everything that you need to know for the most part to go ahead and do this at home. Alright guys, I hope you like beautiful watches as much as I do, and I like keeping all my watches looking really nice and pristine, and so no need to have a dirty watch anymore. So I hope everybody really enjoyed this. If you've got a particular favorite way that you like to clean your watches that's maybe a little different, I would love to hear about it. Drop a comment down in there. If you haven't already subscribed, guys, I don't know what's the matter with you, because we're going to keep coming with the Buff Watchmaker and really strong content in 2023. So give us a like, and we'll be right back with another episode, and have a wonderful day.